So I found out that indeed Satchel Paige and Ted Williams faced off a few times. And Ted Williams went 2 for 9 career wise against Satchel Paige with one strikeout. By the time that happened, Satchel Paige was at least 42 years of age. Some speculated he was older than he stated. He didn't get to play because of segregation in the major leagues until, the late 1940s. This is when Ted Williams is still very much in his prime. And there was a story one time when Satchel Paige was facing off against Ted Williams. By the way, I'm doing batting practice with Ted Williams against Satchel Paige. That once, while Satchel Paige was in his windup, and you'll see it here, you'll see how you'll see his hands come together behind his head. Watch this. Right there. That when he faced Ted Williams and he brought his hands behind his head, he had his back even more so facing Ted Williams so that he could see his hands. And Satchel Paige, and so that had the grip of the ball as a curveball. So he was gripping the ball as to throw a curveball. And of course, Ted Williams, being the hitter he is, being the expert hitter he is, arguably the greatest hitter the game has ever known, saw that. And so he got ready to hit a curveball. This game's all about deception and getting any advantage you can. And then Satchel Paige blew a hard fastball right by him. Struck him out. Later it said Satchel Paige and Ted Williams met up. And Satchel Paige asked Ted Williams, "Ted, you ever guess pitches?" Ted Williams says, "Yes, Satchel, yes, I do." And then Satchel says, "Don't be guessing with Satchel. Don't be guessing with Satchel, Ted." Ted Williams is dope. From California. I think he was born in San Diego, at least grew up in San Diego. His mom was Mexican, so Ted Williams, Mexican-American. And when Ted Williams got elected into the Hall of Fame, he used his Hall of Fame speech to advocate for including players from the Negro Leagues into the Hall of Fame. It's pretty good. I respect that about him. He comes from an olden time, He first started playing during, I believe, segregation. Must have been segregation, yeah. Because he was playing Major League Baseball before World War II. And then he took a couple of years off, as did others, like Willie Mays, took a couple of years off to go fight in World War II. Imagine how many home runs Willie Mays would have if he didn't miss 2 years of his prime. Let me back up. I'm saying World War II. That's not accurate. I'm talking about, it's the Korean War. The Korean War is what we're talking about. This is a younger Willie Mays. His rookie season, I believe, was 1951. So this is probably a period where he's hitting at least 30 home runs, maybe 40. So imagine, let's just say 30 one year, 40 the next. Imagine those 2 years would have resulted in 70 home runs together. Well, Willie Mays hit 660 home runs. So add another 70 to that, and that's 730 home runs. Willie Mays would have been the first person to surpass Babe Ruth. That wouldn't get him enough to surpass the 755 by Hank Aaron. That would only be surpassed by Barry Bonds, the greatest player I've ever seen play, personally. In fact, I would say Barry Bonds is the greatest player I've ever seen play any sport. I mean, a guy who gets intentionally walked 100 times in a season, a guy who gets intentionally walked with the bases loaded. And I remember going to see Barry Bonds in San Francisco, both at Candlestick and at the newer ballpark. And every time he came up to bat, the whole stadium changed. You know, you can go to a baseball game, right? And half the time you're not even really watching the game. You're crowd watching, you're watching the side activities, the mascot, the video board. You know, it's really easy to be at a baseball game and ask yourself, what inning are we in and what's the score, right? But not when Barry Bonds came up to bat. The whole stadium just had this singular focus on home plate. Nobody was in the concession lines. And there was just this energy in the park, this electricity that you could feel. And I remember thinking to myself at the time, this must be what it was like to watch Babe Ruth play. I think, now Barry Bonds doesn't have the championships. In fact, he never won a championship. But I think, so what I'm about to say is very arguable. But I think Barry Bonds was more dominant than Michael Jordan. I would say Barry, and he's not my favorite player. I like Barry Bonds. And yeah, he was doing drugs, and so was everyone else. It was part of his era. It was of his time. You know, Babe Ruth hit 60 home runs during segregation. Right? We're not going to put an asterisk on his records or when he did have records. So that's how I feel about Barry Bonds. And he's not, I loved Barry Bonds, but never my favorite player. But man, I've never, ever seen someone as dominant, especially I've seen in person, but I'm going to say even on television in my lifetime in sports than Barry Bonds. All right, we ready to go play a game? Let's do it. All right, we got to 550, I think, yesterday, ranked. Tomorrow, the Weekend Classic begins, so it's going to change things up a little bit. Let's see if we can, I don't know if we can get to 600 with just this one game. With Miyamoto Musashi, our friend from the 17th century, we're just going to kind of focus on keeping our mind the same. We're going to keep it simple today. Shibe Park is my home stadium. It's where the Philadelphia Athletics used to play. Now that the Oakland Athletics have left Oakland. The Athletics have left Oakland. They're no longer the Oakland Athletics. I see a connection there. I do like this ballpark. Oh, I almost feel like I should save Jake Arrieta for tomorrow. Oh, well. He's my starting pitcher today. We've been hitting better of late. Scored 7 runs yesterday. How many did we have? Was it 16 hits yesterday or the day before? I can't remember. Ooh, we're going to go up against CC Sabathia, one of the better pitchers, I think, in the game. Oh, the Metrodome. I remember watching games in the Metrodome when I was a kid. 52-90 this guy is. Wow. Okay. Our batting averages aren't so far apart. Our home runs per at bat, well, he's better than I am. I have a lower ERA than he has. Wow. I'm thinking I think he's probably pretty good. His record might be bad because he played a lot at the beginning. When you play a lot at the beginning, you're just going up against the best players. So that's what I'm guessing. I'm guessing this guy's going to give me a good match. It's my guy, Cool Papa Bell. CC Sabathia throws a fastball, circle, change, slider, sinker, cutter. Okay. Let's find his release point. All right. He might be playing games because I paused, but I don't care. I'm not going to be moved by what he does. So give us a slider. All right. I cannot not swing at a changeup in the dirt. Ooh, that was on. It was right there. I was so freaked out about the changeup in the dirt again. Sinker. Travis Bazana has been one of my better hitters. Oh, he's got Ted Simmons. Ted Simmons not bad. One ball, one strike. Ball inside. Okay, be wary of the changeup in the dirt. Not in the dirt, but low. Oh, shit. Well, that sucked. Okay, let's just sit on sinker, inside sinker. There I am with that low changeup again. I got to stop swinging at that thing. Okay, he knows I'll swing at it, so we know we're going to get it more. This guy, maybe he quits a lot. I'm trying to understand why his record is as poor as it is. Like you're usually gonna, if you lose a lot, you're gonna not advance into places that you shouldn't be. I wonder if he's doing that because I do like to pause a lot, but I don't care if it bothers him. I don't pause to annoy my opponent, to frustrate them. Sometimes it does. It's allowed in the rules. If my opponent does get frustrated by it, then that's a plus for me. As Miyamoto Musashi would say, to fluster your opponent. Get in your opponent's mind. The fact that he's doing this button dancing right now suggests that, yeah, like I don't care that he does the button dancing. And I'll show you what I mean about the pausing. What I do. This right here. I push the R2 button. Damn it. Looking inside again. That was it. All one's the count. One and one. Batting seven, the center fielder, number 32, Walker. Spring and Maze. Now coming into pinch hit, Willie Mays. Okay. I knew the changeup in the dirt was coming. Wasn't quite ready for that pitch. Fingers tensing up. Bad time for that. All right. What's the count? 1 ball, 2 strikes. This Sabathia's already pitched 144 innings for this guy. Got lucky to hit that one. Making him throw pitches, so that part's good. Everything inside. Like I said, sitting inside fastball.
Leading off for Indiana, the center fielder, Mike Trout. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, Grayson Ortiz.
Thank God David Ortiz is slow as a turtle.
Batting sixth, the first baseman, Frank Thomas. Ball one, no strike. Ball, that's it.
I like playing at the Metrodome. I can never
Leading off,
imagine using it as my home stadium. I don't want my home stadium to be a dome. I like traditional ballparks. But I do like playing here. Cool Papa Bell.
now batting, second baseman, Travis Bazana. He's in there, he's safe.
Ah. Nicely done. Cool, Papa Bell. Now we need to make contact. And we do.
The batter, number 9. Designated hitter, Ted Williams.
Was that not a home run?
Now batting, third baseman, Adrian
What was that?
Beltre. The right fielder, number 30, Kyle Tucker.
I don't even know what's going on anymore. Oh, I don't know. I thought that was fair. I think this guy's giving up. I don't think we'll get 9 innings out of this game. Told you. All right, we'll take it. Fortunately, I can't go and check out my hitting chart. He was ranked higher than I am, but I'm at 599. It means I will not be, I think, in the 600 level come tomorrow. Feeling so good about winning that game. I don't want to risk it and lose one. I'm just going to stay there at 599. All right. Well, short one today, but another victory.